Hello and welcome back to Purple in Peril, the level 3 edition. No changes to the gear for this level. I thought I would take the liberty of running through the spell options for level 1. As you can see at the moment I have 4 there, but only 2 I've actually selected. You're only allowed to select 2 spells per Warlock level. The others come from the Warlock Pact, which is that one there, in my case, the Entangle. And this one here, Featherfall, is from... oh, I could put that on the bar, couldn't I? It's from the enhancement tree, the Tainted Scholar enhancement tree. As you work your way up the tree here... I'm saying it's from this tree. Yes, yeah. Each core that you take in this tree, this being the first one, you can see Featherfall at the bottom, is added to spells. This second one is very nice because you get web added. Now, although I've taken this, I can't use web yet because it's a level 2 spell and you only get access to those at level 4. So as you can see here on the spell list, I've only got level 1 spells. So if you're wondering why you can't use web, that's why. I've just gone a bit further up in the enhancements here, so I've taken another pack dice and that second core. 10% extra spell crit damage is nice for us, and the web spell will be very nice crowd control. That will replace the Entangle when we get that at level 4. I interrupted myself again. We were just discussing the spell options. Obviously I've got jump and false life. False life, as we don't get any healing options, so we either have to do potions or scrolls, or we deal in temporary hit points, as I'm trying to do. Other... oh, I can't see the other... okay, I'll go to trainer and then we will see the available other options and we can talk through any half decent ones you might get some mileage out of. Once every 3 days you can exchange one spell for another one for free at the appropriate trainer. In this case I'm just using it to show what we could have taken. What do I like in here now? Colour spray. I've had trouble with Reapers in a couple of quests. If you are running Reaper mode, especially solo, and before you get like a big hitting spell or spell-like ability that can really hammer the Reapers very quickly, I don't have that at the moment. So I could have taken this. Just to explain how it works, for those of you who don't know, the opponent has to make 3 separate will saves. It's telling us there, save 19 will. 1 for a daze, 1 for a blind, and 1 for a silence. So it's especially useful against enemy casters because the silence will stop them from casting spells. The daze and blind are good for the crowd control side. A blinded Reaper won't home in on you quite so fast, and a dazed one will just stay there and wait for a few seconds of grace for you to be able to finish it off. But be warned that this version of the spell, unlike Greater Colour Spray, which holds them in place even after you damage them, this one, as soon as you hit them after they've been dazed, it breaks the daze and the thing starts coming after you again. But still very nice. If you can halt and blind a pack of opponents in front of you, that's very handy. So I like that one as a choice. Expeditious Retreat, if you don't have these boots I have from the Borderlands chain, that could be an option because slow run speed just sucks. Shield, definitely shield or night shield, both will serve the same purpose, which is to stop the magic missiles from tearing you to pieces. That becomes increasingly important the higher up the difficulty levels you go. If you're running in Reaper, it's definitely a good idea. The only reason I haven't taken it at the moment is I have a shield clickable pair of gloves there. resist energy, very nice. You could, you could get some serious mileage out of that. For example, against the Cobalt Shaman that I featured in the quest in episode 2. Those electric things are no joke, so if you can have some more resistance against those, great. Another option for resist energy is to add some topaz of resist cold, resist fire. I think they come in all flavours. Sonic, fire, acid. You can add those to your gear, especially if you've got like a set of gear that you're using for leveling on a specific build. It's not a bad idea to try to work some of those topaz in. Shield is probably preferable to Night Shield early on, because you get 4 shield bonus there as well to armor class, which might make a little difference, get you a few more misses early in the heroic life. Later on it won't really make too many odds. So that's my sort of assessment of the potential nice spells. Colour Spray, definitely a nice one to contain packs lower down, especially if you don't have the entangle that we do here. Some of the Warlock packs won't have any crowd control at all to start with, so that isn't a bad choice. I've used it quite successfully. Probably less so on this build because it's more constitution focused than charisma, but if you're doing a standard charisma build, and you should have a higher DC than I do there, you will get some good mileage out of that, I'm sure. I've taken the liberty of adding the Quicken to our 2 spells that we're using regularly, the Entangle and the False Life, to get them to go off quicker and without interruption. I probably didn't explain before. You can see now the spell point cost for that at the top. It's saying 25 cost and the base is 15. Everything you add Quicken to costs 10 extra spell points, so that one's 20 instead of 10. So bear that in mind. And the same for all meta magic, unless you're adding it to a spell-like ability, such as let's give some examples from the tree. We have in the Soul Eater tree, we've got Consume, Stricken, and Eldritch Wave. All those are spell-like abilities and can take meta magics for free. In fact, these don't cost any spell points at all to use. It's just the cooldown you have to bear in mind. That being discussed, the level 3 feat I took for us was Maximize. We're not going to use it at the moment, but further down the line we will get some mileage out of that, because we will be using these Stricken and Consume, and later in the life you can maximize the Eldritch Burst and Spirit Blast in the Enlightened Spirit tree, which is where we're ultimately heading. Okay, I think that's it for the waffle. The quest for today is this one down here. Information is key. The quest giver is up there in the Leaky Dinghy Tavern. We're still in the harbour, and we'll try not to suck too badly. Stick all the little buffs on that we can. Okay.
Across the room you see an Iron Defender. The piece looks fierce. Approaching the creature may cause it to leap to action.
You can see that Entangle is still working reasonably well for us. And just as I said that, the dog did its own sort of mess on the floor that had me moving slowly. As if to say, 2 can play at this game, pal. Whenever possible, we would like to be at reasonable range from our targets, especially if those are melee, and just chip them down without taking damage ourselves.
Men making his way down the tunnel ahead. He hears you approach and
A couple of
starts
dogs here. I've got the crowd control down. A lever or a valve to pull up here to go on. Same deal again here. Oops. Just wander up these steps, pull the two valves. Apologies if you can hear that in the background. It's a little puppy I'm looking after for the day. Wrecking havoc.
You hear the grind and clatter of machinery from below and to the west. You hear the grind and clatter of machinery from below and to the west. It sounds like something heavy is being ratcheted into place. You hear the rasp of stone against stone from somewhere above, as if a massive barrier is moving aside.
And now we're going up towards the end fight. I'm going to put some crowd control down to try and block the doorway,
An iron defender
so they don't all come pouring out. I think we could say that went reasonably well.
Path ends in a well. You lift the case and slide it onto your back. Quickly return to the Fairlane representative.
Okay, and that was level 3. Went a bit smoother than I was expecting. Thank you very much for looking, and we shall see you again in the next one. Take care.